Hi everyone, welcome to Legal Connect. Welcome to this space. I know it's been a while. The situation in the country hasn't helped. However, we are all in it and we are all continually looking for the way to survive. However, Legal Connect continue to stand strong and to bring you analysis of the legal issues, legal affairs that are bordering Nigerians and Nigeria. Nigeria as a country is a product of news flash. Since the last episode on this space, there has been a lot of things that has happened. However, I'm not going to go down memory lane. I know that other platforms provides daily updates on issues, but there is an issue that have been making the rounds recently that has to do with Apostle Johnson Suleiman. I'm not going to go into the saga of the apostle. However, it is the news relating to his attempt assassination a few months back. I did a video in relation to the innocent souls that were killed as a result of the attack on the apostle. However, recently the police paraded, as they always do, paraded suspects, and it is the practices of the police that I am going to discuss on this space today. Even though in few episodes months ago I categorically brought to the knowledge of people that the practices of the police, in my opinion, are illegal, and I stand to be corrected where in our constitution, where it says that suspects need to be tried by the media. I will allow you to listen to this report from Channel's station, and then we will just analyze as we go along. Sit back.
Press briefing to showcase some of the achievements of Nigerian police force across the country. The Nigerian police force has recorded several notable successes in our crime fighting efforts. Some of these successes form the thrust of our meeting here today. The police within the past 2 months have arrested 548 armed robbery suspects, 242 kidnapping suspects, 365 murder/homicide suspects, and about 237 suspects for rape and defilement. While about 113 victims of kidnapping cases were successfully rescued within the period under review. Additionally, in furtherance of the efforts placed by the police to mop up and curb proliferation of illegal firearms and light weapons, we have been able to recover 306 firearms and 3,000.
The Nigerian police is actually a joke, in my opinion. We've just been given, or a new acting Inspector General of Police has just been appointed in the person of Kayode Egbetukun, and the practices of the police is the same. It's like getting a new wine and pouring it into an old wine skin, so the saying goes. One thing Mr. Adejobi mentioned is that this person is a suspect. He's not convicted. He's a suspect to have alleged to have carried out a criminal offense. And he mentioned that he gave a list of how many armed robbers, kidnappers, and the different offenses, people that they've arrested, over 700 according to his the number he's given. That shows that what the police is doing in Nigeria is actually not working if we have reoffenders. So what strategy is the police employing rather than punishing to try to serve as a deterrent that will prevent people, when they've offended and they've been released, they don't go back offending? What plans does the police have? The government, what are the strategy the government have put in place? Or the strategies, once you commit an offense, you're caught, you serve the sentence, and that is it. It's up to you if you want to go and reoffend again or not. That is a terrible strategy a government will employ in order to curtail or in order to have a good citizens. Given the current hardship in the country with no support from government, why won't people that don't have appropriate jobs, why won't they engage in criminal activities? We look at the politicians using their position to steal money from the national treasury, and you expect those young men to fold their hands and just suffer in silence. Okay, let's look at what this particular case. It talked about weapons being mopped out of the society, but there are still more weapons. Who provides the weapons? The politicians. During elections, they give weapons to their thugs, and we have heard of stories where even the police, serving police officers, gives weapons to criminals, and this police PRO is telling us that they are mopping up weapons off the streets. They are not mopping up any weapon off the street. And look at displaying of evidence. Is that not contamination of evidence? What does the Constitution says? Section 36 of the Nigerian Constitution states that a person is entitled a right to a fair hearing, which means a person alleged to have committed a crime is innocent until proven guilty. But what is this police officers, what are they doing? They're having a media trial by the media. The police is the prosecution and the police is the judge, and then the medias are there to report on what the police are doing. And Mr. Adejobi mentioned something that saddened my heart. He said the incident that involved Apostle Johnson Suleiman, where 3 of his colleagues were killed, was a well celebrated. Does he know the meaning of the word celebrated? Celebrate is when you're joyous. How can your 3 colleagues meet their demise? We're gone down brutally, untimely killing of those men, and you said it was a well celebrated case. I think Mr. Adejobi should render unreserved apology to the family of those police colleagues that were murdered by whoever attacked Apostle Johnson Suleiman, because that is a wrong term to qualify that incident. And you see this smirk in his face, showing off that the excessive pride in his achievement, being able to parade these criminals or alleged criminals to the public, the pride in him. They are not criminals. They've not been found guilty. According to the law, you should present them before the court, and it is only the court that can conclude and convict these people if you have the evidence to persuade, to make sure that the judge are satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that they are sure that these criminals or allegedly criminals are the perpetrators of what you've accused them of. And look at it's not even detailed as to the brief. He said this young man was part of a gang of kidnappers, whereas the young man said we actually wanted to assassinate. So who are we believing? I think the statement, the so-called confession that has been obtained from this young man has been forcefully taken off him. Because if you have enough evidence to charge this young man, you will not be presenting him, trying him in public. Rather, you will take him to the court and have the court convict him by presenting the relevant evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt that this young man actually committed the crime. And look at Mr. Adejobi actually questioning the suspect as if he's in a court of law.
How old are you? I'm 33 years old. Where are you from? I'm from Kogi State. What brought you here? I was among the people that attacked and prosecuted in Suleiman. For how long have you been with the gang? Since 2021. How many of your operation have you been engaged in? 4, including Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Why did you attack Apostle Johnson Suleiman? Actually, it was a case of assassination. I don't have the details of the operation. It was Ilyasu and Labista that have the full information. You actually wanted to assassinate him. Yes, sir. Were you part of the discussion? Why did you want to assassinate him? No, I'm not part of the discussion.
Hello, sir. That is illegal, in my opinion, unless you can point to a legislation, a law that permits you to parade this person in a quasi-judicial capacity and subject him to questioning as if he's under trial. And in law, the defendant does not have to prove anything. The accused does not have to prove that he's innocent. You, the prosecution, will prove beyond reasonable doubt that the judges are sure that this young man committed the crime. And you're subjecting him to self-incrimination. He incriminating himself by you putting questions to him. He doesn't have. I doubt if he's even been allowed to speak to a lawyer that would advise him of his right. I doubt if they have actually read him his right, that he has a right to remain silent. However, if he remains silent and refuses to say anything that will help his case, that can be an influence when the trial commences. I'm actually disappointed in the Nigerian police. Okay, let's move on and talk about the next case.
Gentlemen on the press, we have Emo Larry Chidibere. As I call you, stand up, please. Let's see you. Male, 34 years, from Agbo, Delta State, married with kids, an agent in gold business. Samuel Balogun, male, 22 years, from Kaba, in Kogi State, forest traders to fashion designer. Williams Banjo, male, 28 years, from Epe, Lagos State, beautician. Babatunde Femi, male, 30 years, from Okeogun, Ogun State, hairstylist married with a kid. Number five, Nneka Opara female, 32 years, from Imo. The principal suspect, Emolari, Leon is Swiss national to Nigeria, posing as an agent who facilitates gold transactions in Nigeria. Upon the arrival of the victim on May 30, 2023, the prime suspect alongside Nneka Opara and Samuel Balogun received him at the airport and conveyed him to a service apartment where they lodged him. Subsequently, Emu procured Babatunde Femi and Williams Banjo, who tied down the victim and seized his iPhone while compelling him to contact his relatives in Zurich to send them a sum of $2,000 and threatening to harvest his kidney and sell if their demands are not met. The suspect held the victim hostage in the apartment from May 30, 2023 to June 2nd, 2023. The suspect took pictures of the victim and forwarded the pictures and threat messages to the girlfriend of the victim in Zurich, who eventually sent them the sum of $2,000 via Western Union on June 1, 2023. Upon receipt of the reports, operatives of the Nigerian Police Force Intelligence Bureau (IRT) swung into action, moved out of the case, and successfully apprehended the suspects. Items recovered from them include one locally made single barrel gun, one iPhone 13 Pro Max with AirPods, five different types of company stamps, and the sum of $800. Can the SB keeper move close to me so that I can show the $800 is in cash? I don't want any breeze to blow the naira, the dollar away. I don't want any monkey to talk. So we have them here. Who is the prime suspect? That's the money. I don't see. When I look at the money with my face, I don't think I'm racist. Hey, what's the name of that prime suspect? Yes. Pardon? Emo Larry. Can you give him the mic? The, the lady. Why are you so much interested in the lady? Then accused wrongly. Okay, give her the mic. Come. Now, question. No, we are not for debate. Wait now, wait. The other go to come here. Wait. What is your name? Nick Okpara, how old are you? Where are you from? Imo State. Where in Imo? Okay. What's your business? What do you do for a living? Okay. Entertainment, business. Okay. And event planner. So how did you meet this man? Who is him? Okay. Online. Now the help. What's the incident?
That's the incident of picking his client. That was on the 30th of.
Who is the client? Who is the client?
That was his client. I've never met him or spoken with him until he
Okay.
went to the airport.
Okay.
So on the 30th, he told me his iPhone 11 was bad with battery and screen problem. And he knows I have a phone plug. I link to different people. So he told me he needed me to link into my phone plug. So the man was buying the phone very well. And I even sent the man sent him my phone plug number that I'm not ready to go out for that day. He begged me, he said no, and I have sent the number. The evidence is there on my chat with him. He said no, he needed me to go physically. So the man will buy the phone well. And I fell for that trap. They even waited, Mr. Samuel is a witness. They waited for me for more than 1 hour in Pape to join them. I thought he would change his mind. And finally I came to join them. Then when I joined him, he said a business client he's expecting has already arrived at the airport. That please let my phone dealer wait. So he takes us, that's me, to the airport for speaking. Then from there, I will now finally take him to Panet to help him sell his phone. And that was what happened. Thank God it was the same driver who took us from Papi to the airport.
How did he introduce the claims to you?
Introduce
the claims. The person you went to the airport to go and pick. How did he introduce him to you?
Okay, when we went to the airport, it was like that's his business client.
Into business now. Because you are into event planning and entertainment. So what business did he tell you that the guy is?
Much because I thought it wasn't my business. But I know when I was in the car, when we were on the way to the airport, the immigration officer called him on phone that the person he's expecting wanted to talk to him. So I know I heard clearly when the immigration officer told him he was going to send the visitor back because he didn't apply visa from.
For how long have you been helping him to receive case from airports?
Never.
So this time around, why do you have any curiosity to even ask that? Who is this man?
So I didn't want to ask because I'm going to go business. I was minding my I was still complaining to him.
But you heard him when he said you are partners in that business. Okay, gentlemen, you can see that's all right. We'll continue our analysis about it, no problem. But for now, it's obvious that in our law, we have what we call conspiracy. And there's no ignorance of law is not an excuse. But you can see clearly that something is wrong somewhere because he introduced the lady to us now as a business in gold business. And the lady said she has never been in that business before. She's just an event planner and in entertainment.
Welcome back. I don't know how to qualify Mr. Adejobi, his containers. These are serious allegations against these Nigerians being broadcasted nationwide, and their reputation is forever gone. Even if they are found not guilty of the offense that they've been alleged to have committed, the fact that they have been subjected to this degrading treatment in breach of Section 34 of the Constitution, which gives the right to dignity of human person, displaying the persons on national TV allegedly to have committed crimes, and the officers or the officer, Mr. Adejobi, laughing, making jokes on cases or allegations that will see these people being locked away for years, or even they might even lose their life in terms of the first case that have allegedly have killed 3 police officers. He's looking at either being killed himself if found guilty of murder, and then this other set of people or allegedly criminals, and then engaging in tit for tat questioning. You're not the judge. If you have enough evidence, these people should be hauled before before a court, charged with the relevant offenses, and let them have their day in court. Because you parading them does not make them guilty. Rather, he makes a mockery of the Nigerian police force, that they are breaching the fundamental human right of Nigerian citizens. Anybody could be in the shoes of these people. Given the history of Nigerian police force, I don't agree that these suspects have committed the crime they've alleged to have committed, because if they've committed those crimes and the Nigerian police force have the evidence, they will not be paraded in this manner. Rather, they will be charged and taken to court. And how come they did not parade the Mefele the same way that they are parading all these other criminals? Is it because of status? How come Emefiele have not been paraded for Nigerians and subject him to question as these people have been subjected to question? Or is it the fact that criminality or offenses have different levels? There are levels where you put them before the public and question them, and then there are other offenses like the one that's been committed by Mefele, which we are yet to be told. There you just keep them in secret. The inconsistency of the Nigerian police force, whoever the division is, the DSS, the FB, FIB, the whatever department, which have EFCC, they are a disgrace to the Nigerian community. The fact that they cannot uphold the fundamental right of Nigerians. Well, this is the much I wanted to show you about the parading of Nigerians alleged to have committed crimes. Rather than take them to court, the Nigerian police are breaching the fundamental rights of these citizens. Basically what they're doing is not working. And then let us look at a more recent incident to show that the Nigerian police force should be revamped, because we cannot continue like this. Let's look at the next video.
So that's the bank club, the Nigerian Correctional Service, and the bank club in DSS side by side. And it makes people actually taken away from the court to their personal house. Drama, commas, loading.
Wow. This is what our country, Nigeria, has turned into. Law enforcement agencies that are supposed to be protecting the lives and property of Nigerians are not the ones wielding powers as if they are lords. The court is this jurisdiction of the judiciary. The law enforcement agency, the executives, even the legislators have no power within the premises of the judiciary. And they tell us civilians, they tell us the police officers, or they said respect the uniform, even though you don't respect. I remember when a police officer in one of the media programs, said that you don't respect the person, you respect the uniform. And the DSS, look at what they are doing. Are they respecting the uniform of the correctional officer? Or that is not a uniform that should be respected? They tell we, the citizens, to respect the uniform of the police. Even the police doesn't respect the uniform they are wearing. They don't respect the uniform other agencies are wearing. And look at the way they've brought themselves so low. It's a disgrace on the Nigerian police force. I believe the DSS is part of that. That a judge will give an order. The judge that enforces the law will give an order. An agency of the executive will say you're talking rubbish. And look at the way they came to the court with balaclavas, with hoodies. Is that even legal? Nigeria picks up things, they take it to the extreme. Why would you go to a court blindfolding yourself to not be recognized when you are heavily armed with civilians walking around? And then when a stray bullet goes off, it will be an unknown gunman because we can't see their face. This is intimidation, and this is the society, or this is the administration that we said is better than that of Buhari's administration. This is Tinubu's administration, and we are just 58 days into the administration. Look at what is happening. They've given us a new IGP in the person of Kayode Egbetokun, and this is what is happening under his watch, whereby a fellow enforcement agency is rough-handled by the so-called DSS because they are lords. And the fundamental right of Emefiele, I thought that Emefiele actually committed a crime, because by what the DSS is portraying to us, we forget about the fact that the implementation of the recoloring of the Naira, it is not an offense, but it was a bad policy. So the DSS could not find any other offense to tie him up with than to tie him up with this ridiculous, this laughable offense. And they've held him for these months because of this ridiculous offense. I'm so disappointed in the DSS. I'm seriously disappointed in the DSS. To say that what the DSS is doing is abuse of the judicial process. Because I can't see the reason why they are rearresting Emefiele. If you have all your offenses, you should present them once at this hearing. This is actually an abuse of process, and the courts have no power to curtail the DSS. So what do we have judiciary? A kangaroo court. Because if the DSS can ignore the powers of the judiciary, then what's the point of having a judiciary? Okay, the judiciary is for the poor people. How can a government agency, a public sector agency, ignore the judiciary? And we say things will change. No. People that have the ability to jackbar, people should jackbar, because this is not a country. This is not a country at all, and we will be here hoping our generation will live and the next generation will continue. And given the society we live in, it is endemic these old practices. You go to the legislative chambers, those ones are fighting over furnitures. They're stealing money, appropriating, increasing their own salary, whereas the people that voted them in, they are being told to adjust their lifestyle because of the hardship in the society. Why the people in government are amounting wealth legitimately or legally, and then also stealing through other agencies. Well, it is a sad story that the Nigerian police force is a disgrace to our country, and I stand to be corrected, because if they can ignore the provisions of the law, violating the human rights provisions of Nigerians, then they are not fit for purpose, in my opinion, and they should be disbanded. So I just hope that irrespective of Emefiele, I'm not a supporter of Emefiele, the way his case is being treated just shows that we are in for a ride. Unless the tribunal help Nigerians, the next 8 years, the first 4 years, the hardship in this country hasn't started. Because if Tinubu can sit back and allow this to play out in public, it means that Buhari's administration was heaven on earth. Thank you very much. I hope you've picked one or two things. We are back to continue to analyze the provisions of the Constitution against the actions of the public sector workers or agencies. This is supposed to be public sector, supposed to be transparent, because they are being paid by our hard-earned taxes or the natural resources that are supposed to be for us all to enjoy. We are paying these people from our sweat, and we are being marginalized and oppressed by the same people. Well, please click the like button, leave your comments below, and do share the link to this video so that it can go far and near. Until we'll come back to you soon to talk about other box office news, because Nigeria is a box office news now. Nigeria is a box office item. If you sneeze, is a box office in Nigeria. Yeah, I remain your uncle, the anonymous lawyer, and I say bye-bye.